Peace. Bang. Bam. Blam. Whoop-pow. Hiya. Happy now, yeah. Now's the vibrate. Not going too far in the future. Not going too far in the past. Right now. I think I was on the little vibes of the little, remind me of the old Batman movies. Pow, like ding, like the little music change up when they punching, and little pow and kablam and all that. Matter of fact, I think those the definition of like personifying like noises like that is called onomatopoeia. And I remember that word from an old episode of Hey Arnold. Like if y'all old school enough, I remember the cartoon Hey Arnold, which you could stuff revamped or whatever, so you could go. How I say, even if you're not, if you wasn't around during those times, you know, you're probably still familiar with it. But there's a Hey Arnold episode, and he had to spell that word for a spelling bee or something like that, onomatopoeia. But anyway, summer solstice. June 21st, first day of summer. I'm gonna speak on the energies, of course, from a perspective of what I've been feeling, downloads of information, the information I was led to look up and, got information on. So just a little mixture of all those little things, But one of the things for sure, not so much dealing with the summer solstice energy in particular, but just what, we're experiencing and what we're going through. A lot of us may, be fluctuating through a lot of darkness. When you're fluctuating through this darkness, and always, especially when you're on point, you're making sure you're trying to, eat healthy, do all these things, and then you're still going through this darkness, and it could make you question. But always realize, for one, if you go through a lot of darkness, that means you got a lot of light waiting for you on the other side of that darkness. Pressure makes diamonds. You don't get a diamond without a lot of pressure. If you don't apply a lot of pressure to that carbon, you don't get the diamond. You get a little constellation diamond. Not to say that nothing is wrong. There's no good or bad. So whether it's a constellation, whatever you're trying to produce, it is what it is. But anyway, it's the pressure that makes diamonds. So if you find yourself like dealing with a lot of darkness and, going through those little lessons, that light being shined on that part of yourself that you don't really, you're not too fond of, or you don't like or love, you got to show love. It's being showed to you in order for you to fix the situation and for you to love all aspects of yourself, But of course, we're definitely going through these little fluctuations of darkness. Again, if you got, like, on your soul contract, if you plan to do a lot, and be a person with, that's of a lot of light, sharing a lot of light, and, put it like this, you got a lot of responsibility in essence, dealing with, if you got a lot of darkness coming through, then you got a lot of light. So with that light, you set yourself up for, you're going through this darkness on such a high level, so you could teach yourself to, and I say teach yourself, but to be able to handle where you're headed. So you're going through these different things. Like, say, for instance, all right, perfect example. I'm going through the dark night of the soul, in essence, with the way I handle money. I'm being shown on how I need to save more, how I need to maintain confidence with spending money. I'm being showed these things in order to be ready to be a millionaire, because I can't be a millionaire if I'm sporadically spending money at any little second and not controlling the lower vibration to want to just eat any food at any moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have to go through that darkness in order to reach that light that I set up for myself. So if you find yourself going through your quote-unquote bad habits is coming up to the surface, that's so you could, realize what they are, correct them, and in order to correct them and transmute, love it too. It's about transmute. It's not about like trying to get rid of it as much as it's transmuting it, you know what I'm saying, and doing what you gotta do to put the light into it, in essence. But again, you won't be able to, from my perspective of my situation, I gotta, handle money correctly right now, in essence, in order to see, more. So I'm going through these dark nights and showing how, I may spend money in just wrong or bad, for lack of a better word, but in these wrong or bad spots, that's bad for my spiritual growth. And again, that's for lack of a better word. There's no good or bad. It's just, just observing the growth in essence. But again, you're being brought through that strong amount of darkness. Matter of fact, on a level to where if you're going through a lot of darkness, realize that you got a lot of light coming to you, When you look at a lot of people on their walk, the people who really went through that struggle, say for instance, those basketball players are like, and I use them as a reference because, in most cases, brethren come from the hood and they go through a lot, they seen homies get, murdered, lack of a better word, transition, things of this nature, or they see they people's on drugs, stuff like that, so they go through all that darkness, and that just, and it's resistance that pull that rubber band far back, so it shoots. So a lot of those brethren like, fuck, I'm in it by any and all means. I'm a, make it playing basketball, football. I'm gonna make it in rapping or this and that. That's where all that aspect kind of, it comes from in essence. You go through that darkness, and it is that pressure to create a diamond, And I don't know of a diamond, until somebody bring up some new physics or, as above, so below, and tell somebody, say, hey, we find out that there are diamonds that don't use, that, the earth makes diamonds without pressure, until we find out that, it is what it is as far as dealing with that. Now with the summer solstice energy, for one, right now in the moment, like we kind of reconnecting with higher self, a lot of us, and it varies depending on which part of your growth you are in. Some of us who kind of been dealing with the growth, we dealing in different places. People that's new are kind of different, but for the most part, in general, we all are reconnecting to higher self. And say, for instance, for a lot of us, we've been pushed to be more physical, ground more, be more hands-on dealing with, our manifestations and our spiritual growth. Well, now, it's a lot of, matter of fact, a lot of light energy coming down. So we're being allowed to reconnect with that higher self and balance those hemispheres out as well, balance that high vibrational, frequencies within the physical, being. But those, it's that higher self, high vibrations is flowing back into our process, so we're not having to be so hands-on as much, what I'm saying? And again, this is, somewhat uniquely different to where you at in your growth, but nonetheless, it's a lot of light coming down right now, and it's allowing for us to, reconnect with higher self, or reconnecting with higher self after we've been doing a lot of physical. Or for the people that's new to their growth, like it's just waking you up in general. Like, matter of fact, welcome to the game. Blessings. Much love. You here. You about to start. You may be about to deal with the pressure and the dark night or so, like if you haven't dealt with it. But right now, you're getting a lot of sun. Sun, summer solstice, a lot of light, and that light is awakening your inner being, and advancing your inner being. And just another thing with the personification of, it being, the sun, matter of fact, the energy of Cancer. Matter of fact, Cancer opposing that winter Capricorn, but and there's no opposing, it's all, but just the energies, for lack of a better word. But anyway, like that sunny energy, in the summertime, the sun's out, and the sun, in essence, you got your solar plexus, and then the sun also deals with the Leo constellation. But, you deal with the solar plexus, so it's dealing with that joyous, kid-like vibration, it's kind of coming out of us, right now. And the ethers, higher self is promoting this energy within us right now. So we got like this sunny disposition, this certain amount of confidence, in our being now. The solar plexus deal with that confidence, that self-esteem, that creativity. In fact, even the creative energies, coming out right now, in the summer solstice as well. Also, abundant vibrations. Like right now, a lot of us are realizing, you know, for myself, on my own growth, like, continuously learning that nothing is wrong with abundance. Nothing is wrong if you dealing with some type of spiritual practice or whatever, or say for instance you got a spiritual type of, like, your business deals with spirituality, and you offering, you know, your abilities, your skills, your artwork, whatever, you're offering it to people. That's energy, and you deserve energy in compensation back for what the energy you put out, you know. And nothing is wrong with that. Be confident in knowing that, you know your worth. Like if I make a bracelet that's worth $30, then it's worth $30. I shouldn't, you know, what's going on in my inner universe happens outward. So as long as I'm confident in the price of what I'm, you know, putting out there, then the person is going to be confident in purchasing it, no matter what the price is, you know. Because matter of fact, that, you know, my abundant vibration is going to attract somebody that's on that abundant vibration as well, you know. But it's definitely getting to that place of realizing for sure that nothing is wrong with the energy, aka money in abundance, you know what I'm saying? Whether it be money, whether it be a tree bark, a piece of metal, a piece of leaf from a tree, a piece of concrete, a crystal, whatever we use as a form of currency, nothing is ever wrong with it. Sources of abundance. You know, when you look at a garden, there's nothing but green, you know, it's nothing but abundance, you know, that heart chakra, that love, you know, and nothing is wrong with that. So and with that, again, is about being confident in receiving abundance and confident in letting out. Because another thing too is it's a cycle, you know, a cycle of currency, a current cycle. You know, you want it flowing inward and outward, you know, in a balance, in a balanced way. But it's definitely about being confident, dealing with the abundance, you know, for sure. And also with that abundance, you know, abundance flowing in, that allows for us to step more into our dreams, quote unquote, or the things that we desire, really want to manifest, you know. And again, the abundance, you know, it takes that abundance, it takes that energy, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, right now is the perfect time to, like, put your foot on the gas a little bit with the things you want in life, the things you're trying to manifest. Of course, when I say put the foot in the gas, that doesn't mean dwell in the future and be like worried about be right now. Like, everything is about operating within the now. So right now, you know, you could be a little more confident in your affirmations and have like a little bit of not say a little bit, you know, in fact that would be like a oxymoron, a little bit of a lot, but I was gonna say like have a lot of that expansive, thinking big vibration, you know, like that Jupiter energy type of vibe. Not saying Jupiter has anything to do with it, which it, you know, it's probably sending some vibes down as well, but for sure, just with that expansive energy growing, you know. If for me, I'm finding ways to expand, like my YouTube channel, my jewelry business. Matter of fact, I've been back on connecting with certain little stores around LA, you know, connecting with certain other YouTubers, sending them messages to see if they want to collab. You know, it's about expanding right now, and really, you know, like, for myself, I had to get back to that, bruh, don't forget what you can, like, you really want this, like, you know, I like had to have that pep talk with myself, like, yeah, you know, so you know, let's get to moving, you know. Matter of fact, basically I had to get back into that mode, like when I first got that Moldavite. You know, if you go check out my older videos or my Moldavite video, I speak on how that, you know, that energy just had me. All right, business card, this and that. Matter of fact, even right now for myself, the thought of a business card kind of crossed my mind until I realized, like, nah, I don't need it. But because also being confident in what I'm doing, I am presenting my business and all these things I do in a certain manner because I'm creating a new template. And if I'm creating a new template, that means to not borrow the old one. You know what I'm saying? The old template is business cards, and, you know, and you gotta have this to do that, and you gotta have this to do that. You know, of course, now these things help, and to each his own on our vibration. But again, for myself, you know, I'm here to shed light on a level that shows everybody that, hey, you could do it yourself. You know, and I feel like sometimes if I present things too, like, you know, which is part myself, but like just the way that practical nature of like, bruh, I got a certain message. I don't need like little words flying across the screen or whatever. But you know, it's about taking that next level with kind of getting started with your entrepreneur business, you know, any projects or whatever you're working on. You know, it's taking to that next level. And again, I was speaking to myself where I don't have all the, you know, I don't deal with the business card vibe, but this and that. Because again, I'm changing the construct. If I continue to go along with what's been going on, nothing to change. I'm actually keeping up the thing that I'm, you know, trying to help people, you know, realize that you don't need, in essence, you know. Because again, I have, you know, 15,000 family members / subscribers to this YouTube channel, and I did not hand out a business card to all those people, you know. Facts, you know. And somebody could sit back and say, well, you probably could have, you know, if it was a fifth, we all be drunk. Everything moves and operates the way it is for a reason. So, you know, it is what it is. So back to that summer solstice energy, you know, pressing the gas, being confident, knowing that you could expand to whatever level that you feel you could expand. The only person that could stop you is you. You know, just realize that, you know, and how important right now too, reprogramming the subconscious, you know, for the people that's new to the game, you know. In fact, look at some of my older alchemy videos or videos about the subconscious, but or law of attraction videos, or I think it's the We Are Creators playlist. But I'll speak to that vibration, you know, where you gotta, you know, reprogram that subconscious, because you could confidently say, I am a millionaire, I am a billion. But if your subconscious like, bro, you don't show us that enough for you to be saying the affirmation. We gonna operate from what, you know, what we got already, you know, what we see, until you change that. So everything works from the subconscious. That's why, like I tell people, I'm constantly working in that abundance area within myself. It's like I have like a over judging, like I judge myself a lot, you know what I'm saying, which that'll bring that judgment about money. That's my little vibe I've been dealing with and growing out of that vibration. So right now is the time to be confident on all levels. Also, I catch a vibe of reconnecting with it's a balance flow, because this one is like a double-edged sword. It's like reconnecting with some family and friends, but also, you know, growing away from some as well. You know, it's like because you get into a certain place where you confident. Again, the confidence being like confident in your vibration, and also like knowing like who you are, and like, all right, this is me, and I'm not, you know, this older vibration that I used to deal with this certain friend or family member, I don't deal with no more. And there's no love lost. There's even more love in being who we truly are and allowing each other to do that, you know what I'm saying? So we get into that place, you know, where we really kind of starting to grow away from some, and then also reconnecting, because some may be seeing the light and opening up to the place where you headed, and like, wait, hold on, you know. And so you could be able to connect on that level, you know. But it's definitely just a vibration of dealing with family. As a matter of fact, you could kind of say in essence that would come from, you know, the summer energy, or like the Cancer energy. Cancer, you know, the Cancer sign is the moon, but it deals with, you know, that motherly vibe, but also like a family vibe, you know, connecting with family, and, you know, that loving vibration. So you kind of got that little vibe of like reconnecting. Matter of fact, I had a live video I was doing the other day, you know, and as I'm doing it, you know, my brother and my nephew come online like, what's up, man, you know, connecting, you know. Which it also was a partial test while doing that live video. If y'all saw it, you know, it was like a test for me in the midst of doing the video, because it was like my little nephew brought up some old vibes that we used to deal with, and I'm like, you know, maybe on a little high vibrational tip I'll be able to deal with that, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, we'll see when the time comes. But, you know, I had to check that, because it was a high self checking me to see if I like, oh yeah, I'm going, like, just to be nice, and not like, say for instance, sometimes you just go along with things because you're so used to being nice to your family members and friends, and not like like putting your foot down, and not putting your foot down bad way, but like saying, you know, nah, this is who I am. I don't really deal with that no more. And that was a check for me to like, nah, bro, I don't really deal. Like, cause talking about going to club, I'm like, I don't know if I could. I would damn near have to control every aspect of that. Not say control, but I have to be the DJing some good vibes, whatever. But, you know, keeping it real and honest about the situation, you know, nonetheless. And that's another part of what we're doing, is stepping more into our authentic selves, you know, into that authentic place. Now, another one that's probably kind of like the last, well, I say that, but you never know. But like, we're eating light, literally and figuratively speaking. So we're eating light, like the light, you know, like we are light beings. We're eating like actual, you know, the light or high vibrations. So by eating light, we're also being asked, our body is asking us to eat light, or eat light, like, you know, like how heavy or light, you know, you're eating, you know, and not the actual light. So, but there's a little double entendre like that right there. So we're eating light, or we're eating lighter, you know, however you see it. But so we may find that we may be eating a little bit less, and, you know, it's more so because we're connecting with that ethers. Matter of fact, conscious breathing and actually visualizing the what they call it, the microscopic or micro whatever, the orbit of the energy. You know, I speak to how you watch the chi energy rays from your root chakra go up to the top and kind of come down at the top palate of the mouth, and then it connects through the tongue and come down to the front of the body and cycle back to the root chakra, and, you know, visualizing that cycle. But, you know, right now is a very key and important time to start dealing with that. You know, and matter of fact, speaking of how key it is for us to start going within, you know, which is no good and bad in this universe, is all just different situations. But I think too, to where they got the BET awards right now. You know, it's a balanced situation. You know, it may be something that may be a distraction. It may be inspiring to some. You know, we all got different perceptions, and we're all on different parts of our growth. But I just thought to that, like, you know, it's no coincidence that these executives and people who deal with the cosmos and know of astrology has the BET awards around the summer solstice, in which, of course, this may be always the date is around, but it's no coincidence that it's, you know, on this date. Because again, it's a balance. It may help spark something inside some people, but for some it may be a distraction, keeping you away from actually going inward and dealing with what you got to deal with inside yourself, you know. So just also be aware of that situation. But again, back to the food, you know, eating lighter, and we may be going through that little I know for me myself, like balancing out that indecisive mode I get into when I'm getting food, and realizing like how to balance that masculine, feminine, or right and left brain. Those two hemispheres are kind of getting balanced out. So, you know, going with the flow and just kind of vibing with intuition first and foremost. You check the logic part, you know, kind of see what may be logical after you check with the intuition. But also, in essence, I keep it real. The less you think, the better. You know, kind of going with the flow of the body, because again, the body might ask you, you know, and again, this may seem like, well, you know, you just said we eating light, you know, like but this what you know, the divine chaos of the universe, you know, this growth is not a logical one, you know what I'm saying? Even though we may be balancing logic, you know, into this situation, at the forefront of it is not a logical situation, you know. So you might be asked to eat something that you normally don't eat, you know, that may be that what you may see is good or bad, whatever, but different nonetheless, you know. But it's just the body, and also like our body has a consciousness in essence, and as long as you're not letting the lower vibration of the body, you know, exceed the high vibration of the body's voice, you know, as far as like what voice you're listening to from the body, like. But it is about going with the flow of what the body wants. You know, the body might know, like, hey, just a weird one to just throw out there. Get some marshmallows right now. You're like, man, what in the? Like, marshmallows got all, but it may have something in it that it could put, you know, that your body need. And I'm just, again, this is just an example of, you know, just to of how, you know, crazy it may seem logically, but logically, or it may seem illogical, but it's logical for your body or your, you know, or your being or whatever's, you know, needing the certain type of energy from that marshmallow. It's logical to it, you know. So it's about just going with the flow, you know, not thinking too much. When we think too much, we removing what's moving. Shout out to 3 Stacks, man, for that verse, and shout out to Kid Cudi, because that was his song. Tap into the frequency of love. You know, matter of fact, I'm gonna end on that. Tapping into the frequency of love, unconditional love, realizing that we're gonna be different. Like as we're growing on this earthly plane, and just in general, we all, even though we all one, we all have our unique vibrational signature. You know, and with that being said, that's why unconditional love is needed. Because think about it, if we all was the same, it would be easy to love, you know, everything and everybody, because it all would look like you. You know what I'm saying? Everything would be the same as you. Look, walk, talk. So it's, you know, it wouldn't. Matter of fact, it wouldn't even be no job to, you know, nothing to do. It's like, oh, it's all me. It's all the same. It's all, you know, love. But that's why unconditional love exists on that level, because it's meant for us to have these diverse aspects, you know. And nothing wrong with us thinking different, being different, having different thoughts and ideas, you know. Again, because unconditional love. So no matter the condition, no matter if you like the Red Sox and I like the White Sox, no matter if, you know, I say working with crystals is a beautiful thing and you think it's an ugly thing, no matter if, you know, whatever the case may be, we are all uniquely different, and rightfully so. And it's about that unconditional love, because there's no bad and good, you know. Everybody going through their own situation. We are reincarnated beings playing in a play, you know. And for sure, like, for anybody still like worried about like with the racist vibes or the oppressive vibe, you know, it's a reflection of what we've been allowing to happen, and it's just a game, you know what I'm saying? It's like it's no good or bad. It's just you know, it's just things that are happening. You know what I'm saying? And it's all reflections of yourself. You know, that Ku Klux Klan member is a reflection of me. You know, somewhere back in a past life or whatever the situation may be, you know, I displayed maybe that same level of hate, you know, whatever the case may be. So that exists in this timeline, and not directly in my universe, of course, because I don't deal with that vibration, but, you know, exists nonetheless, because at some point in my creation or whatever, you know, I dealt with that energy, because all, you know, we are all everything, you know, forever. Shout out to my brother. We are all everything, everywhere, forever, you know. But we uniquely on our little, you know, journeys and experience, you know, so we could grow. And the only way, in so many words, because that's another thing too. Every time we say, you know, we got a soul contract and we ask for this, that's just the best way for us to express it with human words. It's a higher situation than that. We didn't just like straight up just ask for this, you know, in essence. But that's just the best way for us to explain it with human words, you know. If I could, not say if, but sending that telepathic, you know, vibe of it, you know, it would definitely be quote unquote worded different. For lack of a better word of expressing, you know, telepathic thought, you know, words in the thought. But, you know, that's just what it is. But that's it, you know. Summer solstice, June 21st. Matter of fact, today is the 22nd, you know. And I won't allow, matter of fact, not slacking. I won't be dropping this. I was about to say probably probably tomorrow. I'm going to be dropping this video today. But matter of fact, see me talking that out on the video, you know, all realistic, all authentic, you know, that's how I roll. Matter of fact, and last but not least, you know, for sure, getting to that unconditional love state and getting out of that fear state, you know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I've been even finding myself wanting to use the word courage other than fearless. You know, I don't even want, you know, the word fear nowhere, even, because it's a balance, because of course you don't want to give words too much power, but in essence it all was, well, you know, what works for you. And I'm just telling myself, you know, I just rather say courageous more, but it's time to be more courageous, you know, knowing that the only person that could stop you is you, and that most fear comes from worrying about something that doesn't exist, false evidence appearing real, where, you know, if this person might do this or if that, you know, that's the whole reason why the government's scared and trying to oppress people, because they fear. They like, well, what if they do this? What if these people wake up? What if, you know, for all the bad stuff that we done bad, you know, what if they turn, you know, it's just fear, you know. Let me lock up this, and of course it's a balance. You are in the universe, you know. I thought about, like, let me lock up my bike or this and that. Of course you got people, you know, it's co-creating, but just on all levels, you know, it's like false evidence appearing real, because in essence it is like it's a collective consciousness on that. Say for instance, locking your bike up, we all on the collective kind of feel the same way, in essence of like, well, you know, lock up your things type of vibe. So that vibe of like being fearful in that place is still kind of going to exist to a certain level, because I always tell a story about with my bike and how it didn't get stolen or whatever. But, you know, it's about being fearless, because again, most fear stems from worrying about something that doesn't exist in the moment. And say for instance, now fear doesn't exist. Now if you're in the moment, then fear don't even exist. I mean, you know, unless you put yourself in a fearful position right now. But I mean, you know, now it's only now. You create from here. But if I go to work, well, you know, man, I'm trying to have my business set up by this point or this and that, and I ain't nothing wrong with setting goals. But again, you know, worrying too much about the future, looking too much into the future, and in a place where things don't exist yet, you know, just stay right now, you know, and everything will get taken care of. You know, stay courageous. Peace. Bam. Excuse me. Happy now. Now's the vibrate. Matter of fact, dealing with my food situation, you know. Not too far in the future, not too far in the past. Right now. Peace.